welcome to Traveling Inside Out. This is Alina, your host. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to the podcast that explores the world within and out. Thank you, everybody who's joining. I am joining a bit later. Once again, thank you also to the ones who are watching afterwards. Um, yeah, it was not a good good morning. I also woke up with a headache, so I think I'm dehydrated, which is always the problem with me. Anyway, let's see. Tea number um 13. Let's see. Tea number 13. Uh-oh. Cinnamon pear. Wait, what's happening? Oh, it was stuck to the side. Ah, because there's a I see. Pear. There we go. Today's tea. Where's the camera? Today's tea, cinnamon pear green tea. I can't believe it that today I'm using the laptop's camera, and in my brain I was still with the phone, so I was about to show the thing the wrong thing. As I was saying, today is not a good day for for science. Green tea, cinnamon pear. I'm not sure what to think about this. What it says on the back. Um, Green tea, cinnamon flavor, pear flavor. Okay, well, mm, um, yeah. So I don't think I'm gonna have a show starting next week because it's just too complicated for me. I'm not in my own house. We are gonna travel on Tuesday, very early morning. Unless I do, but I don't see how. I'm gonna get the teas with me, or maybe on Monday I can open all of them, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think on Monday I'm gonna open all of them, and then I'm gonna try them the following days, and maybe I'm just gonna write about them. It's just too stressful for me to try to figure out how to have the tea, have the cup, have the laptop, record in somebody else's house. It's just too complicated. So this might be the last few days, which means that uh, we're still gonna record the podcast with Andra. So I'm still going to have one more episode of the actual, like, not the bonus episodes that I've been having lately, and then that will be it for the year. Okay, so let's continue with the Wikipedia tea information. Um, okay, so now we are into tea culture. I'm gonna share the screen really quick. Let's see, share screen. I used to live in Turkey at some point in my life, and I talked about it on the podcast some few seasons ago. And yes, I can confirm that this is how they drink their tea. And they usually have um, a cube of sugar that some of them kind of keep in their teeth somehow, and then they drink it at the same time. So they bring it, have it in their mouth, the sugar, and then they bring the tea. The problem with the Turkish tea was that it was too hot for me. So um, it was, let me see which, oh, my bad. I think this is the best. So it was so very hot for me, and every time when I would try to let it a bit cool, they would change it. Like a few times, I would go somewhere and I'm like, I would let it cool off, and they were like, "Nope, new tea, new tea." And I'm like, "Oh my god, my tongue cannot be burned so many times." Um, English tea ware, iced tea with a slice of lemon, Indian masala tea, bubble tea. We didn't talk about bubble tea. I think I can talk about bubble tea today. Hibiscus tea, and then Thai tea. Never had Thai tea before. Um, So, okay, let me tell a story about the bubble tea. How do I stop sharing? There we go. Uh, the bubble tea. I think the first time ever when I had bubble tea, I was in United States in Chinatown, and it was just so interesting because I um I knew of the bubble tea. I just didn't know exactly what it is and so on. So I was really excited to have it. And the next time over when I had bubble tea, I was once again in United States, in New York, in Chinatown. So 2 out of 2 times, my first 2 times had them. And I remember I didn't I okay, so I don't know if that's related to ADHD or it's just because that's who I am and how I am as a person. But I always struggle to order things. I feel so stressed out. I'm curious if anybody else can relate to this. I feel so stressed out when I have to order something because there's too much information coming at me, and I look up because usually the menu is there. And I'm always stressed because it's kind of like I'm trying to memorize how to say what I have to say and then move forward. And unfortunately, the moment when they ask me a question, I'm already I'm already lost. And so I remember one of the times when we had bubble tea. I don't know exactly how I was supposed to require the sugar level, but I know for a fact that I had sugar rush immediately after having that bubble tea, which was just I don't like sugar rush at all ever. It was really not pleasant at all. Okay, let's have a drink. I taste the pear. I taste the pear. Maybe a 4. Maybe it's gonna be a 4. Mm, possibly a 4. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, okay. Let's read a little bit about tea culture. So tea ceremonies have arisen in different cultures, such as the Chinese and Japanese traditions, each of which employs certain techniques and ritualized protocol of brewing and serving tea for enjoyment in a refined setting. Oh, I remember there is a specific Chinese tea that blooms, so it looks like a closed bloom in the beginning, and then it blooms into a flower, and it's just so beautiful in the cup. And I think first time when I saw that I was in Iceland, and there was someone from Hong Kong, if I don't remember correctly, if I remember correctly. But then the another time when I saw that, I was in South America, in Ushuaia, which is the southern city from the southern city of the continental continental Americas. And I was volunteering or whatever, working for a bed and breakfast, so then I can have accommodation because the accommodation was insanely expensive in Ushuaia. And we had some guests that were from China, and they wanted to do this tea thing that was very special to them, and I was like, oh, that's going to be so cool and so on. And the host, the Argentinian that I was helping, didn't realize, and he threw them in the trash because he just saw that bloom like this. And that to me spoke about how we don't understand other cultures. And it also meant how important it is to travel and to try to connect with people from all around the world, because I can't even imagine like he didn't throw it in the trash like over the garbage, but he kind of threw it and we were able to save it. But we like I can't imagine how offensive would that be for someone. Like they want to make a whole like it wasn't a whole ceremony, but they wanted to make this tea special for us, and then somebody comes and be like, what, this is trash bang. That speaks to understanding other cultures that I'm really a fan of, and trying to understand why people do the things that they do and so on. So, okay, continuing reading. 63% of the people in United Kingdom drink tea daily, which I'm not surprised. Um, it is customary for a host to offer tea to guests soon after their arrival. And then the afternoon tea with cakes on fine porcelain is a cultural stereotype. In southwest England, many cafes serve a cream tea consistent of scones, clotted cream, and jam along a pot of tea. I'm gonna bring it back. My first time, did you see? This is so crazy. My first time trying this kind of British tea, I only tried it twice in my entire life. So, first time I was in Argentina once again. I was in uh, Peninsula Valdes. So, it's somewhere where people go to see whales. And I don't remember the town, but we, I joined two British guys that rented the car, and apparently there was a bit of history about the first people that came to those that land from somewhere in UK. And there was a place in which they had the whole tea. So my first time ever having this fancy tea with some sandwiches and cookies and whatever, that was in South America, in Argentina. And then the next time ever when I had that, but they weren't pushed nicely, they were just being served, was on the cruise when we went on that cruise from Bahamas to from Florida to Bahamas and back. And then there is a place here in New York that disappointed me profoundly because I have had it on my map to visit it for before the pandemic even. And then finally we managed to go this year. And unfortunately, we did go this year, but the tables were too big. The everything was weird. They charge us like $10 for two slices of bread. The people were wearing um like leather jackets. It was not at all what I thought that it was, like at all. So I am interested in going again and trying yet again somewhere where I can have that afternoon tea. And now I'm craving for scones. This is what happens when I read about food and so on. I find something and then I'm craving it. So yeah, that's the truth. Um Ireland apparently in 2016, so I don't know what changed since then, was the second biggest per capita consumer of tea in the world after Turkey. And I'm not surprised. As I was saying, the tea in Turkey, it's served like all the time. And one tea that I really loved in Turkey was apple tea, elmalı chai. I still remember how to say it in their language. It was so good to the point that last year I had a friend visiting Turkey, and I asked him to bring me elmalı chai, and he brought me like proper, like he brought me a proper bag of elmalı chai. It was amazing. Um, so yes, I do have the memories of, as I said, when I used to live in Turkey, and I was enjoying the tea. I I wanted to do this at some point. I was saying that I wish I'm not going to travel in all the countries of the world because I just cannot do it. But I wish I would have tea if they have any specific tea in that country. I want to try it. So I was saying that I'm accepting donation in tea at some point. Then I was saying that maybe I should make like a whole thing about I want to try all the teas in the world. So send me your tea, and I send you a postcard or whatever. I don't know, something like that. That idea went nowhere, as most of my ideas. I have the idea and then I don't do anything with it. Um, Obviously, the most popular tea in Ireland is the Irish breakfast tea. Um, then let me see. As I was saying, the Turkish tea. is an important part of their cuisine and is the most commonly consumed hot drink despite the country's long history with coffee. So yes, they do have like a lot of people know about the Turkish coffee. But yeah, they are drinking insane amounts of cups. Um, apparently they drink so many that they are considered per capita consumption of Turkish exceeds 10 cups per day. That's crazy. So that's why I was saying when they were saying that in another day when I read they mentioned the Black Sea, and I said Romania is also having an opening to the Black Sea, but it's not that. It's on it says Riza provinces. So yeah, no, it's not in Romania. Um Indian tea culture is strong. The drink is the most popular hot beverage in the country. It is consumed daily in almost all houses, offered to guests, consumed in high amounts in domestic and official surroundings, and is made with the addition of milk and with or without spices, and usually sweetened. It's sometimes served with biscuits to be dipped in the tea and eaten before consuming the tea. More often than not, it is drunk in doses of small cups referred to as cutting chai if sold to street vendors. So that's pretty cool. Oh, Iranians have one of the highest per capita rates of tea consumption in the world. Um, I'm not gonna try to pronounce that. Chai khanas tea houses are common in Iran. Iranian tea is typically served in traditional Iranian glasses with a traditional saucer and teaspoon. Um, the tea is cultivated along the shores of Caspian Sea. And then in the United States, 80% of tea is consumed as iced tea. Yes, that is true. I can confirm that. My husband also has iced tea. Sweet tea is native to the southern US and is iconic in its cuisine due to its refreshing temperature and large amount of sweetener. Um, I was curious, they didn't say anything about. Um, they mentioned in the beginning a bit of Chinese and Japanese. Um, Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the tea. And that's how I spill the tea. No, I don't know. Was I supposed to come up with saying during all of this? So honestly, I don't remember. I know I scored one or two teas with five, maybe in the beginning. Um, maybe the first one that had apple and cinnamon flavor. I don't know. I don't remember. I truly don't remember. But this one is gonna be a 3.5 or 4 because I taste a bit the pear, but it's not. It's mostly the green tea. Okay, cool. I understand that. That's fine and all that, but I feel like it's still missing something. So yeah. Oh, also I have updates. The blanket is slowly and surely coming together, very slowly and very painfully for me. I need to check how what do people do in order to not destroy their backs. Because yesterday it was one painful crochet day for me. um so hopefully by Monday I can reveal, um and we'll see. I can say this: number one, it's a heavy blanket. Number two, I'm not that proud of the design because it's kind of randomized. Number three, I am still very excited that me, Alina, manages to make one full blanket. So that's where I'm at with this. My voice, I'm losing my voice. That's not good. Sorry about that. Which I think it's time to take time out. So once again, I don't think I'm going to continue with this next week because we're gonna travel starting Tuesday. So for whoever wants to keep joining the live sessions, I would highly recommend to do it, especially this weekend, because it might be the last days when I'm doing this tea Advent tea reveal. That being said, though, I'm still gonna come here tomorrow. So see me tomorrow. This concludes today's episode. Thank you for listening and for reviewing Traveling Inside Out. If If you want to get in touch with me, send an email to podcast@alinaigrad.com. And remember, your outer journey begins with inner work. Until next time, bye.